Humans.
Whoa.
Thank the Maker.
Hurry, close the door before they come back.
It's okay, you're safe. We took care of them. At least the ones immediately outside.
Don't worry, we'll protect you.
Thank you. I think we'll be okay now. It looks like everyone's gone.
You're Dr. Warren, the one in charge of the excavation. Do you know what happened to the beacon?
It was moved to the spaceport this morning. Manuel and I stayed behind to help pack up the camp. When the attack came, the Marines held them off long enough for us to hide. They gave their lives to save us.
No one is saved. The age of humanity is ended. Soon, only ruin and corpses will remain.
Who invited this negative Nancy? Can you tell us more about the attack?
What else can you tell me about the attack?
It all happened so fast. 1 second we were gathering up our equipment. The next we were hiding in the shed while the Geth swarmed over the camp.
Agents of the destroyers, bringers of darkness, heralds of our extinction.
Yeah, seriously, dude,
We
you
could
gotta
hear
chill.
the battle outside. Gunfire, screams. I thought it would never end. Then everything went quiet. We just sat there, too afraid to move, until you came along.
So how long have you been waiting? And what about Nihilus? He, again, in theory, is pushing ahead of us. Did he happen to cross paths with you guys?
Did you notice a Turian in the area?
I saw him, the prophet, leader of the enemy. He was here before the attack.
What?
That's impossible. Nihilus was with us in the Normandy before the attack. He couldn't have been here.
I'm sorry, Manuel's still a bit unsettled. We haven't seen your Turian. We've been hiding in here since the attack.
Okay. Not sure what to read into with Manuel's statement in that case. What about the beacon? Because, of course, that was originally back in the dig site, but has apparently been moved, and we were wondering if that's the humans who did that, or if that was actually the Geth.
Can you tell me anything about the beacon?
It's some type of data module from a galaxy-wide communications network. Remarkably well preserved. It could be the greatest scientific discovery of our lifetime.
Yeah, sounds like we
Miraculous
want
new
it.
Technologies, groundbreaking medical advances. Who knows what secrets are locked inside?
We have unearthed the heart of evil, awakened the beast, unleashed the darkness.
Manuel,
Yeah.
please, this isn't the time.
Is he always like that? Just like, your assistant here seems a little crazy.
What's wrong with your assistant?
Manuel has a brilliant mind, but he's always been a bit unstable. Genius and madness are two sides of the same coin.
Is it madness to see the future? To see the destruction rushing towards us? To understand there is no escape? No hope? No. I am not mad. I'm the only sane one left.
I gave him an extra dose of his meds after the attack.
Okay. Now we may be able to take... Here's an example of what would likely be a more renegade option here. You know, if we were deeply concerned about him bringing down the morale of the group, we could perhaps take more aggressive action here and do something to shut him up. But I think it seems as though the Dr. Warren here has basically said that she knows that this is some kind of issue that he has and has given him meds, and so presumably they have that under control?
Williams, take us to the spaceport.
You can't stop it. Nobody can stop it. Night is falling. The darkness of eternity.
Hush, Manuel, go lie down. You'll feel better once the medication kicks in.
Okay. So, we did get a little bit more information there. Out of curiosity, can we still chat with them a little bit here?
Yes? Is there
Oh,
something
we
you
could.
need?
It's just the same thing.
We better get moving.
Good luck, Commander.
Luck won't save you.
Oh, and that extra little pep talk as well. So we have been getting additional updates for our codex. And maybe, let's just take a quick peek at what options we have there in terms of what we can learn. Because definitely some things we're learning here. Let's see. So we talked a little bit about the council races previously, the Turians.
1,200 years ago, the Turians were
We already know
invited
about
to
that,
join
though.
the city.
What about extinct races? Protheans, yeah.
50,000 years ago, the Protheans were the only spacefaring species in the galaxy. They vanished in a swift galactic extinction. Only the legacy of their empire remains. They are believed to have built the mass relays and the Citadel, which have allowed numerous species to explore and expand throughout the galaxy. Prothean ruins are found on worlds across the galaxy. While surprisingly intact for their age, functioning examples of Prothean paleotechnology are rare. Time and generations of looters have picked their dead cities and derelict stations clean. Some believe the Protheans meddled in the evolution of younger races. The Hanar homeworld of Kaj'e, for example, shows clear evidence of former Prothean occupation. The presence of a former Prothean observation post on Mars has caused a rebirth of interventionary evolutionists among humans. These individuals believe the god myths of ancient civilizations are misremembered encounters with aliens.
Okay, so those are the Protheans that we're hearing so much about. This is a beacon that they created, and we're hoping we'll have some really advanced technology that could help us. Let's see what else we can learn here, though.
The Geth
Like,
are a
about the
humanoid
Geth
race
we've
of
been fighting.
networked AIs. They were created by the Quarians 300 years ago as tools of labor and war. When the Geth showed signs of self-evolution, the Quarians attempted to exterminate them. The Geth won the resulting war. This example has led to legal, systematic repression of artificial intelligences in galactic society. The Geth possess a unique distributed intelligence. An individual has rudimentary animal instincts, but as their numbers and proximity increase, the apparent intelligence of each individual improves. In groups, they can reason, analyze situations, and use tactics, as well as any organic race.
Interesting.
Geth space is located at the trailing end of the Perseus Arm, beyond the lawless Terminus systems. The Perseus Veil, an obscuring dark nebula of opaque gas and dust, lies between their space and the Terminus systems.
Okay. Then, let's see if there's anything else we can learn about non-sapient creatures. What's that one referring to? The
After
husks that we
Geth
just
secure
encountered?
a
Yeah.
location, they
What's the deal
round
with
up and
them?
impale dead and living bodies on mechanical spikes. The spikes rapidly transform these victims into withered husks, extracting water and trace minerals, and replacing them with cybernetics. The cybernetics reanimate the lifeless flesh and tissue, transforming the bodies into mindless killing machines. Some Alliance soldiers refer to the husk-generating spikes as dragon's teeth, a reference to the mythological berserkers who sprang up from the earth wherever the teeth of the dragon Eris were planted. Dragon's teeth and husks bear little resemblance to other pieces of Geth technology. No one is sure why a synthetic race would bother to drain the minuscule amount of recoverable resources from organic corpses, though the value of reusing them as shock troops is obvious.
Yeah, that's certainly disturbing. Those, I think, are the big things here. Might be some little bits of information we can also get about the Terminus systems. We've heard mention of them.
Side of the Attican Traverse, beyond the space administered by the Citadel Council or claimed by the Human Systems Alliance. It is populated by a loose affiliation of minor species, united only in their refusal to acknowledge the political authority of the Council or adhere to the Citadel conventions. Their independence comes at a price. The Terminus is fraught with conflict. War among the various species is common, as governments and dictators constantly rise and fall. The region is a haven for illegal activities, particularly piracy and the slave trade. At least once a year, a fleet from the Terminus invades the nearby Attican Traverse. These attacks are typically small raids against poorly defended colonies. The Council rarely retaliates, as sending patrols into the Terminus systems could unify the disparate species against their common foe, triggering a long and costly war.
So basically, it's the lawless area of the galaxy, where lots of space pirates and what have you are doing their business. And for the most part, the Citadel space area is sort of, or Citadel species, which we'll learn more about later on, are kind of just letting them do their thing, trying not to get them to retaliate too much.
Combat hard suits use a dual-layer system to protect the wearer. The inner layer consists of fabric armor with kinetic padding, Areas that don't need to be flexible, such as the chest or shins, are reinforced with sheets of lightweight, ablative ceramic. The outer layer consists of automatically generated kinetic barriers. Objects traveling above a certain speed will trigger the barrier's reflex system and be deflected, provided there is enough energy left in the shield's power cell.
So those are the
Armored
shields.
suits are sealable to protect the wearer from extremes of temperature and atmosphere. Standard equipment includes an onboard mini-frame and a communications, navigation, and sensing suite. The mini-frame is designed to accept and display data from a weapon's smart targeting system to make it easier to locate and eliminate enemies.
Okay. Then lastly, these kinetic barriers or shields.
Kinetic barriers, more commonly called shields, provide protection against most mass accelerator weapons. Whether on a starship or a soldier's suit of armor, the basic principle remains the same. Kinetic barriers are repulsive mass effect fields, projected from tiny emitters. These shields safely deflect small objects traveling at rapid velocities. This affords protection from bullets and other dangerous projectiles, but still allows the user to sit down without knocking away their chair. The shielding afforded by kinetic barriers does not protect against extremes of temperature, toxins, or radiation.
Okay. So I think we're going to focus on primarily the primary entries here. Those ones are all voiced, as we can see here. But these secondary entries, which we may actually not have any yet, are generally more minor and are not voiced, and so that's up to me. Talk that stuff into existence. But anyways, is this backwards or is this the right direction? Let me double check real quick. This is backwards at the moment, I believe. Hold up. So, anything else we can do to examine this location here? Also, I may have proceeded to just do a complete 180. No, we got something here. There's Nihilus. Who's that in the distance?
Saren.
Looks like they know each other.
Nihilus. This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
The Council thought you could use some help on this one.
I wasn't expecting to find the Geth here. The situation's bad.
Don't worry. I've got it under control.
Oh! Okay, then. That escalated quickly.
It's a ship. Look at the size of it.
Yeah. That looks worrisome. Okay. And away it goes. There are, by the looks of things, some Geth down there. Absolutely. Yep, and they have now noticed us. Let's see. Yeah, so from this range, our pistol's going to be considerably less accurate, I would think. Oh, okay, we got some husks moving in. Let's throw this guy away. So our throw, at the moment, may largely just be for crowd control purposes. Whoa, hello! So also, the Geth do that. Or rather, the husks do that. Where if they get too close to you, they will actually do kind of like this explosion ability. Saw for a second there, I think I stood back just far enough that we didn't actually get hit by it. Although Caden has taken a fair bit of damage here. Could you guys, like... What are you even shooting at right now, actually? Because I can't tell. There is an enemy over there, in theory. Just looking at our map. Ah, okay. So trooper hiding behind here. There we go. We gotcha. Okay, now what is... Got some stuff here. that was Omnigel and actually a grenade. I saw another pack of loot up here, I thought. Yeah, let's nab this. Malfunctioning object, which has some heavy human armor, which you'll see the numbers at the end, or at least the Roman numerals at the end. Generally speaking, there's basically the name of the type of armor, and then the Roman numeral at the end is an indication of how powerful it is for that specific type. So, like, all duelist heavy human armors are going to have the same stats, and then a level 1 is obviously, or level 2 is 1 tier better than level 1, level 3, 1 tier better than that, so on and so forth. Let's take all this stuff. That is a heavy armor, which means that that might be something that, well, actually, Ashley needs to get upgrades before she can use that, right? And we upgraded ourselves. We may not have upgraded or given a skill point to others yet, although actually, no, we all have skill points to spare here. So let's do something about that, maybe. Now, unfortunately, we can't throw additional points into throw yet, in which case maybe we go 2 more points in decryption, because that will get us far enough to unlock electronics, which will give us the sabotage ability once we have more points to put into that, and that is good for destroying enemy shields in particular. So let's do that. We also, in doing so, have increased tech explosion damage coming from decryption, which we have not yet used, to tell you the truth. That is something we could make more point of doing. Oh, and before I forget, let's also upgrade Caden and Ashley here. So, Caden, we were saying we might prioritize barrier on you. Let's do that. And then Ashley, you have 1 point to spare here. You need 2 more before you can unlock fitness. Maybe we give you 1 more of these for the time being, just give you more damage. Actually, I have a ton of melee damage here, for what it's worth. Caden is actually somewhat significantly hurt, so it might be worth using a metagel just to heal him up a bit. There are also, we didn't use these at the time, but these containment cells, if we had made a point of shooting them, would have done that. So that could have helped. Let's see if there's anything else down here, though. Oh yeah, there was also the locked door, wasn't there? Yes, I wanted to make sure that we got the loot first, but you're right. I almost forgot about this. Good call. Let's check it out. So it does require an override. Let's make it happen. Okay.
Everybody
Nice.
stay calm out there. We're coming out, we're not armed.
Oh,
Is it safe? Are they gone?
some peoples. Farmers?
You're okay now. Nobody's gonna hurt you.
Those things were crawling all around the shed. They would have found us for sure. We owe you our lives.
I still can't believe it. When we saw that ship, I thought it was all over.
It showed up right before the attack. Knew it was trouble the second I saw it, so we made a break for the sheds.
I assume you're referring to that big ship that we just saw leaving before we were moving into this area? Yeah, can you tell us anything more about the attacks?
Tell me everything you remember about the attack.
The 3 of us were working the crops when that ship showed up. We just saw it and ran. I don't know what happened to the rest of the crew.
They were by the garage, over near the spaceport, right where that ship came down. No way they survived.
You don't know that. We survived. If they made it to the garage, they could have had a fighting chance.
Maybe, but there's a lot of Geth around here. What about the beacon? You know anything about that?
Do you know anything about the Prothean beacon they dug up?
We're just farmers. We heard they
Nah,
found
this was
something
also
out there,
cool and
but it
pretty.
never really mattered to us.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's doing so well right now, though. Yeah, so these guys are not terribly concerned about the beacon. What about this ship? Because you say you saw it. We did too, but we only saw the very last bit of it as it was leaving.
What else can you tell me about the ship you saw?
I was too busy running to get a clear look at it. I think it landed over near the spaceport.
Tell them about the noise, Cole. That awful noise.
Oh?
It was emitting some kind of signal as it descended. It sounded like the shriek of the damned. Only it was coming from inside your own head.
What? Some kind of jamming signal?
It was probably trying to block communications.
Whatever it was Felt like it was tearing right through my skull. Almost made it impossible to think.
Oh, yeah, that sounds very unpleasant. Do we have anything else to talk to you about? I suppose not.
I have to go.
Hey, Cole, we're just a bunch of farmers. These guys are soldiers. Maybe we should give them the stuff.
Oh?
Jeez, Blake, you gotta learn when to shut up.
The stuff, you say? What are you guys talking
You have
about?
something to tell me, Cole?
Some guys at the spaceport were running a small smuggling ring, nothing major. In exchange for a cut of the profits, we let them store packages in our sheds.
And smuggling is a crime. That may also be why you ran here specifically. Care to explain more?
You're breaking the law, Cole.
We're not hurting anybody. Hell, most of the time I don't even know what's in the packages. Just thought there might be something we could use. I found a pistol. Figured it would come in handy if those things came back. But you'll probably get more use out of it than we will.
Okay. So here is actually the first example of dialogue that is only available to us if we have a high number of points allocated in either Charm or Intimidate. So normally you'll see that the dialogue options that we have are this sort of light blue color, but then you see this dark blue color is an option that is only available to us because we have leveled up Charm as much as we have. This one down here, alternatively, is grayed out. This would have been an Intimidate option that would have been available to us if we had spent points in Intimidate. So just about 100% of the time, whenever these options are available to you, it is beneficial to use them. So we'll definitely do that here.
We're risking our lives to save this colony. You sure there's nothing else in here that could help us out?
Yeah, there's one more thing. I was gonna sell it after this was over, but you probably deserve it more than I do.
Oh. Okay.
Who's your contact at the spaceport, Cole? What's his name?
He's not a bad guy. I don't want to get him in trouble. Besides, I'm not a snitch.
Yeah, but see, he may know something that could help us here with everything that we're trying to do right now. Like, these are the types of things where, I mean, we wouldn't have been able to get that item, and then we now might be able to learn more about this situation as a whole, because we can sort of charm this guy into saying some things that he clearly doesn't really want to share with us.
He might have something to do with this whole attack, Cole. We need his name. It's important.
Yeah, okay, you're right. His name's Powell. Works the docks at the spaceport if he's still alive.
Okay. I've already asked you about all that stuff, so I think that's everything from you.
I have to go.
Good luck.
Okay. And we got a Stinger 2, which is the pistol he was referring to, as well as a combat sensor, which is a new weapon upgrade. Let's take all that, and let's see what we can do with it. Because if we're talking, let's see, we want pistol. It is absolutely better than our current pistol. Same in terms of the heatsink capacity, but everything else is quite a bit better. So I think that's absolutely worth making this switch here. And you can see that's probably in large part because this is a tier 2 pistol, whereas all of our previous ones have been tier 1. And we'll transfer over all of our upgrades as well. Then we also got a weapon upgrade, which was a combat sensor. Some enemies use jamming technology to block your weapon radar. Combat scanner upgrade improves detection levels, making these enemies visible. Level 1 detection. So we will, as you may have remembered, at times see the red dots on our minimap indicating where the enemies are. In the future, we will encounter some enemies that have the ability to jam that radar, and therefore prevent us from knowing where they are on the map. By using the combat sensor, we have the chance of basically overriding that radar jamming ability. This is, of course, as you can see here, combat sensor number 1, so, you know, later on... Oh, I actually didn't use it here, but let me change that. Let me equip it. But later on, as time goes on and we start encountering more difficult enemies, they may have more powerful radar that requires that we get better scanners in order to actually overcome that. Okay, so is there anything in this area? Oh, look at that. Our electronic skill is too low to use this. So that is one of the reasons why I also wanted to make a point of upgrading our decryption and electronics, because there are some things that are more difficult to unlock than others. So you can see here, once we get to electronics, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we can use electronics skill on average objects. So at the moment, we can only use them on easy objects. Right now, our skill is too low to use that. That's part of the reason why I wanted to prioritize that early.
You need something?
Don't think there's anything else to say to you, but can we chat with your friends here at all?
We're just a small farming colony. Why did they attack us?
That beacon's gotta have something to do with it, right?
I came here to get away from the stress of living on Earth. Yeah.
Okay, so I believe now we are in a better place to move forward here. And at this rate, we should probably save, because I don't think we've done that yet. That is probably important. Okay. And, well, that doesn't look good.
Commander, it's Nihilus.
Okay, before we actually check him out, pick up the metagel. We do have a limit to how much metagel we can carry at one point in time, and that is 5. So technically speaking, we should have used our metagel first there and then pick that up. Caden is hurt right now, so let's make a point of, if I remember what the hotkey for it is. There we go. Healing some people up here. But, we also have this. Anti-personnel rounds and radioactive rounds too. Let's take those. Some more ammo upgrades there, and we have, I believe, yet to give Ashley any... Oh, wrong spot. Any upgrades for her weapons, and like I said, she's technically, well, with her being a soldier, someone who is probably more capable of dealing out the damage with those weapons than anyone else. So we just got radioactive rounds 2. These rounds are stamped with a minuscule amount of radioactive material, inducing low levels of radiation sickness in targets. So what it does is it makes it so that our enemies cannot use their special abilities as quickly. It reduces their cooldown time. So it's not direct damage, but there's certainly still something to be said for that, especially against the more elaborate types of enemies we might encounter. Whereas we also picked up the anti-personnel rounds, which is similar to what we picked up previously with the armor-piercing rounds, where those gave extra damage against synthetic enemies. In this case, these bullets are designed to shred flesh and other organic matter, so these rounds are particularly effective against living targets. Means 15% damage against organics, so humans, aliens, namely, not robots. So, I think for that reason, we're on Caden here. No, we want Ashley. Let's give Ashley the anti-personnel rounds. Let's do that. I mean, for the most part, it seems as though we're fighting Geth here, so they are certainly robots, and so that may not be relevant, but just in case, and we'll give the radioactive rounds to Caden, because I don't think you're going to be doing as much in terms of pure damage. Okay. We got that. Oh, that doesn't look good either. And I thought there was actually... Hold on just a second here. I thought if I remembered correctly, there's actually something else back here, although I may be misremembering.
Something's moving over behind those crates.
Yep, that's what I'm looking for.
Wait, don't shoot. I'm one of you. I'm human.
You gotta be a little more careful around this battlefield, buddy.
Sneaking up on us like that nearly got you killed.
I'm sorry. I was hiding from those creatures. My name's Powell.
Ah, yes.
Arterius. The other one shot him.
We learned about you. You were the guy who was the partner of the dude we just got this pistol from, who was supposedly doing some smuggling. Tell us what happened here, Powell.
I need to know how Nihilus died.
The other one got here first. He was waiting when your friend showed up. He called him Saren. I think they knew each other. Your friend seemed to relax. He let his guard down. And Saren killed him. Shot him right in the back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it didn't look good.
See me behind the crates.
Oh, what about the beacon? Any mention of that? That is I mean, at least was our primary objective here.
We were told a Prothean beacon was brought to the spaceport. What happened to it?
It's over on the other platform, probably where that guy Saren was headed. He hopped on the cargo train right after he killed your friend. I knew that beacon was trouble. Everything's gone to hell since we found it. First that damn mothership showed up, then the attack. They killed everyone. Everyone. If I hadn't been behind the crates, I'd be dead too.
Yeah, how did the Geth not find you?
How come you're the only one who survived? Why didn't anyone else try to hide behind the crates?
They never had a chance. I was already behind the crates when the attack started.
Oh.
Wait a minute. You were hiding behind the crates before the attack?
Sometimes I need a nap to get through my shift. I sneak off behind the crates to grab 40 winks where the supervisor can't find me.
So you were slacking off from work, and that's why you survived?
Because you're lazy?
Yeah, lucky break,
If you
buddy.
hadn't snuck off for that nap, you'd probably be dead just like all the others.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really want to think about it.
Yeah, also, by the way, your friend Cole, he mentioned you.
You're Cole's contact here on the docks. For the smuggling ring.
What? No!
Oh, we know.
I mean, what does it matter now? So I'm a smuggler, who cares? My supervisor's dead, the entire crew's dead. Doesn't matter now, does it?
By any chance, you smuggle any weapons? Got any spares?
Anything hidden nearby that we could use against the Geth?
A shipment of grenades came through last week. Nobody notices if a few small pieces go missing from the military orders.
You greedy son of a bitch. We're out here trying to protect your sorry ass, and all you can think about is how you can rip us off?
I never thought you'd actually need those grenades. Who do
Yeah, really, you don't say.
We're just a bunch of farmers. How was I supposed to know?
Alright, Ashley. I mean, obviously it wasn't the right move. Not a good idea, but at the same time, we've got bigger fish to fry. Our primary concern here is not exacting justice on this dude.
Forget about him. He's not worth it.
You're lucky the commander's here, pal. Hand over those grenades.
They're yours. Take them. My smuggling days are over, I swear.
And we also have the option to convince him to make amends. Okay. Let's try
A lot
that.
of Marines died here, Powell. Those grenades could have come in handy. If I were you, I'd think of some way to make it up to them.
Yeah, okay. There is something else I was saving.
Oh?
Could be worth a fortune. Experimental technology, top of the line.
Now you're talking.
Take it. I don't need it. I didn't want anyone to get hurt. Really, I'm sorry.
Alright, so again, our sweet talking certainly helps us out here. Can you tell us anything else about the attack, though?
Tell me about the Geth attack.
Or were you just asleep the whole time?
1 minute that ship was descending, the next, those Geth were swarming over the platform. Thousands of them. They must have been inside that mothership. They shot anything that moved. It was a massacre.
Yikes. Any signs of a beacon?
Is there anything else you can tell me about the beacon?
They brought it here this morning.
Okay.
We loaded it up onto the train and shipped it to the other platform. Hard to believe that was only a few hours ago. Feels like a whole other life.
Yikes. And the ship?
Tell me about this mothership you saw.
I've never seen anything like it before. It was huge. Landed over near that platform. The whole place got dark as it came down. And it was making this noise, this sound that bored right into your brain. That's what woke me up. The attack came a few minutes later.
Okay. Yeah, we did hear about that sound as well. Sounds like that's all we can get from you, though, Powell.
We need to find that beacon before it's too late.
Take the cargo train. That's where the other Turian went. I can't stay here. I need to get away from all this.
Okay, so we picked up a high explosive grenade upgrade. So that is actually another source of upgrades we can do. There are now some enemies on the map here. And they are well right next to us. Let's throw you out of here. Where are you? Oh, you're actually over there.
Take out those hostiles.
Hello, Death Trooper. You're, like, flanking us? Hello. That was maybe the wrong time to pop up out of cover. Thanks, Ashley, or whoever that was that bailed me out. Okay, so. I mean, we can take a quick moment here to equip that grenade upgrade. I think we are technically the only one that has access to grenades. If I remember correctly, I believe so. So that means this one is definitely going on us. Actually, I have 2 upgrades. Fusion explosives contains a small amount of radioactive polonium that is dispersed on detonation. Targets caught in the blast experience varying degrees of radiation poisoning, so toxic damage. Toxic damage will ignore shields. Alternatively, high explosive gives us additional damage, additional radius, and force, which will knock people down or further back. I think we go for that. It's a little bit less damage, but it has maybe a little bit more other utility. Okay. Oh, we actually got a medium human armor. Oh, it's exactly the same as what Ashley has on right now, so that's not terribly relevant here. Okay. So I think we carry on in that case. And we're trying to head over here toward this terminal. And I see signs of additional... Yeah? What if we do that to blow them up? Yeah, so I can do this to use powers and special abilities. I mean, I already put them here on our weapon slot. I'm surprised that it took us took them, the game, that long to direct us to do that. Okay, so... that's pretty important. We've got some friends here, though. Certainly. I would like to take cover here. You actually take cover, Shepard. Preferably, you would take cover. There we go. Okay, so that's what appears to be a larger enemy over there. It says Trooper, but I think as it gets closer... oh, no. Look it out. Get you from here. So Ashley's the one who's using the assault rifle. You can probably tell somebody is firing much more quickly than the other people are here, and that is Ashley. And someone also blew up one of the explosives in this area. We should probably advance. Hello, dude. Oh, there's 2 of you there. I'd like to ideally use a biotic throw here. Please stop doing that. We have leveled up. Can you guys, like, take cover? Mainly Caden?
Not now, Commander.
I can specifically direct him to move to a specific spot. This is true. I'd also just like to not have to micromanage him quite so much. Okay, is that the last of them? No, there's in theory still one more here. This guy. Come on. Sort of see the very top of your head. Oh, you just did not care that I used biotic throw on you, did you? Okay, so that's everybody, it appears. Caden took a little bit of damage. There's a little bit of loot here. It's a med kit. Let's see, we have all of our Omni Gels right now, so let's use one to heal Caden. And then pick one up here. Is this lootable as well? I don't think so, although it looks like it was. Let's make sure we aren't missing anything here. Do a quick check now that I've cleared out the area. I think we're in the clear. Yeah, so despite that saying that that was a Geth trooper there was one larger enemy that I think was technically a different type of Geth that we were seeing for just the first time there. Let's make sure we've got everything here. And this, I believe, is going to be a good time for us to save. So let's do that. Probably override our previous one. Because if not, then we will get many, many saves, which is not the end of the world. Okay. And now, let's get moving here. That looks like Saren again.
Set the charges. Destroy the entire colony. Leave no evidence that we were here.
Okay, yeah, sounds like, you know, he certainly appears to be coordinating with the Geth. That looks like our beacon. Oh, what? Hey guys, what's up? Don't mind us.